Hello again, you lovely, lovely people. Welcome back. And I thought with the recent event, it would be a good time to talk about get rich schemes here in the Philippines. And I mean, get rich schemes where ordinarily, it's something what you would never think of, I think, but money lending. And I don't mean money lending to relatives because you never get that back anyway, but I mean money lending as a business. And like I said, I know many of you would not consider it. It's something that you just wouldn't go through your mind. But what happens sometimes is you'll come over here and your Filipino partner might suggest it. And I'm saying might suggest it because with the first girl I was with, she suggested it to me. And I thought, no, I'm not doing that. Wish I didn't do that. But you might be sucked into it. Now, not only is it illegal because it's unlicensed and you're a foreigner, but you're putting yourself in a great deal. I'm the same way I'm sitting here, people, so I don't want to sit on an ant's nest. You don't really want to be putting yourself in any situation where you are going to draw attention to yourself. Because what normally happens here, these money lenders, and I know there's a lot of Indian money lenders, not so much here I don't think, but I think Cebu and places like that. And what happens is, they lend the money and they come round and collect it. Now, I think it was a year or two ago, there was an Indian moneylender who was shot dead. He was getting on his motorcycle and someone come along and shot him, obviously over money. So, because of the kind of country that it can be, I'm not saying it is, that it can be, us foreigners want to keep as much of a low profile as we possibly can. And I know many of these sari stores here, they live on lending money or borrowing money. And these money lenders come round every day and they take their money, what they've lent. And as much as your Filipina might say to you, well, it's a good scheme, it's a good scheme, we can't lose because we take their ATM card, and at the end of the month when they get paid, we take our money out first, before we give them back, the card, or they take their money first and then they give them what's left. I don't know how it works, but I think it's something like that. So you're putting yourself at risk. And I think this has been said a few times before, but doing business in the Philippines it's not easy, people. It's not, for a foreigner, it's not easy. And as John said a little while ago in his video, you might have a very good idea and you might start up a business, right? And within a little while, you will have 2 or 3 Filipinos doing exactly the same. And the chances are, the people who would use that service that you've opened up, whether it be a shop or anything, they would rather, and this is true, they would rather go and give their money to a Filipina or a Filipino rather than go to your shop. So you're wasting your money that way, in my opinion. Now, I mean, if you've got like a holiday resort or something like that, and you've got a shop on your holiday resort, which I know a couple of people, one mainly, and that's okay because you've got a resort, they've got a shop somewhere, and obviously people can't open up a resort next to yours and next to that and next to that, because it's very expensive to own a resort and to fund it. So that's okay. Now, I know a lot of foreigners come here and think that they're going to do a business in pigs. Well, people, let me tell you, to make money in pigs, you've got to have a lot of them, and it's not easy. They've got to be injected, with antibiotics and with vitamins and all that kind of stuff. It's not easy, people. It's not. So for a foreigner coming here thinking that they're going to capitalize on a business, it's going to be very hard. And then what you're doing, you're attracting attention to yourself, like that guy who was shot. Not this recent one, but a one a little while before. And I think he had a photocopying business with his wife, and I think it was competition, and it was on video. You saw it. Two guys come into the shop and they made out they were, wanting this or wanting that, and they just shot him and shot her. If they hadn't have had that business, they would probably still be alive today. It's not a good place, people, to come and do business. Now, you might think, well, I'm doing it. Well, I am in a way, because but this is fruit trees, people, This is fruit trees, and this is going to be a long time in the making. Like Belos from Philippine ex-life or expat life in the Philippines, he's growing vanilla. And good luck to him, That is just not like a shopfront business where someone next door to you might start doing the same. But this, what I'm doing, is not in people's faces. And this, to me, is okay. But when you open up shops, or when you lend in money, when you do you're like a money lending business, it's the last thing in the world that I would ever think about doing. But like I said, your Filipina might suggest it, because as far as she's concerned, it's easy money. But everyone will know that you're involved. And many people have a misconception of foreigners here, where they think every foreigner is rich, every foreigner can afford to lose millions of pesos, and that's simply not the case. It's simply not the case. There's many foreigners here that survive on their pension, and they survive on it very well. But that doesn't mean to say that they've got a massive amount of money that they can afford to lose. It's just not the case. But you try telling that to a Filipino. And I was watching one of John's videos today, actually, this morning, where he quite rightly said about not drawing attention to yourself and then, going around with lots of money. And I mean, I tell people here, like, I'm a poor foreigner. I am a poor foreigner in relation to wealthy foreigners, because there is lots of poor foreigners here. There are lots of wealthy foreigners here. But I think if you went around and you starting to flaunt things, they are, you're setting yourself up. You could be setting yourself up. So just keep a low profile. We have enough money, but we can't afford to lose money. Now, saying that, we have invested in this. My wife's invested in this. And this is in for the long haul. It's not like opening up a shop or, There was a foreigner, I think he was in Dapitan. He opened up a bike shop. And this was I think it was after COVID. And, one of these bike shops where you go for the repairs. They are 10 a penny here. There are so many of them. And he had this notion. And I met him a few times, even before he did this. And he thought he was going to make a fortune and all that. Well, around him was many of these bike shops doing the same thing. Now, his shop was really well kitted out. But the people with the bikes, the customers, they seldom went to his place. They went to the Filipinos' shop. And that's what happens here, people. That's what happens here. So, I mean, if you're trying to, think of a business, then, think long and hard about it. And did you come here to do that? It's like I didn't come here to do this, but I enjoy doing it. It keeps me fit. And it's good for my family, for Kaelin to run around. And he likes getting involved, to be honest with you. He likes getting involved. And I just enjoy doing this. And this is for the future of my family. And the future of me as well. But it's never going to earn us a fortune. But it will earn something. It will earn something. And many of the people around here, when these are ready in 3 years' time or 4 years' time, they will probably help themselves to the fruit that's on the tree. As I call them, there will be many two-legged fruit bats in the night. That goes without saying, And you've got to, you've got to accept that. And that's what's going to happen. But it's something that can be left. And, land is forever, isn't it? Money's not forever. You get money in this hand and it goes out that hand, isn't it? But as my wife said before, land is forever. You've got the clean titles and you've got everything like that. Then, you can do something with it. whatever you want to do, it's up to you. But we decided to do this. And there's a heck of a lot of work here, people. There really is. And the guy that we have working, he's kind of, I think he's getting sick. I think he's getting fed up. But it's okay. He comes when he wants. But there's plenty of other people who we can get to help. Because I can't manage all this on my own. I can't clean all that on my own and things like that. And I didn't come here to do that. I don't mind mucking in, but I'm not doing it all on my own. It's just not, it's not what I want to do. But I do enjoy doing what I'm doing. And I know something about growing things, so I'm okay with that. But listen, people, keep a low profile. And I don't mean keep a low profile where you're like a recluse and you never go out your house. I don't mean that. It's pointless being here, isn't it? But there are many foreigners that I've met in the past in Dipolog, when I was living in Dipolog, and they live a similar life to me. Many of them do. You know, they don't really get involved in what's going on, and you know, they kind of get involved in the you know, in the community side of their barangay, and I really recommend that, people. I do, because if you get involved with your local community, not only do the people there respect you more and they will like you, you know, you find out what's going on. Like I said before, you find out what's going on here, and that's very important, people. You know, keep your fingers in the pie. It's, you know, it's very important. But I mean, if you're coming here and you think you're going to capitalize, and building work, I've got to say this as well. Many builders come over here and they might be really, really good builders in their own country. They could be fantastic builders, you know, class A tradesmen. But you try and set up a construction business here and try and think or have the notion where you're going to earn that same money like you do back home. That's not going to happen either. Generally speaking, especially where I live here, you build a home and that's the home that you will live in. You know, you can't really have this idea, I'm going to build this, I'm going to sell that, I'm going to buy a bigger place and I'm going to carry on doing that like we do in the West, which works in the West. Here, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, you know. Some foreigners come here, buy big houses, and they spend a lot of money, or they build a big house, and they think, right, I've spent 4 million, now I'm going to sell it for 8 million. Good luck. Good luck with that. But people who are already here in the Philippines already know this. It's the people who might be coming across and thinking, right, I'm going to go to the Philippines, I've got this amount of money, I'm going to invest it in this, I'm going to invest it in that. Listen, invest it in yourself. The money's best off in your pocket. Don't try and invest in something where many foreigners have done it in the past and failed. And that's not the most important part. The most important part is the point I'm making is you're drawing attention to yourself, aren't you? You didn't come here to draw attention to yourself. You know, you come here for an easy, relaxing, if you like. God, it can still be people, it can still be difficult here, no matter how much you want to try and relax. I've gone through times where I thought, Jesus Christ, you know, and I don't mean to, you know, blaspheme by saying that, but I'm just saying, I thought, oh God, you know, what am I doing? But I come through it. I come through, and that was before. Now, I don't get those feelings, but I have had them feelings. Because people paint this place as a paradise. Now, paradise is where nothing ever goes wrong, and you're happy all the time. It's not like that. You know, we still have trials and tribulations here. Many foreigners who were honest will say that. John is very honest in his videos. And, you know, I know John makes, you know, with me, you know, with my videos. But, you know, like he said before, it's you know, that's opinion. And everyone's entitled to opinion. And I don't think, you know, in fact, I know John doesn't mean any harm. I know he doesn't. It's just John makes videos. And I tell you something, his videos are very good, people, really. He has a channel where he's different to everybody else. He's very unique in his content. And I would suggest, and I think a couple of my subscribers, they asked for his channel, and I give them his channel yesterday or the day before. So I do suggest you pop over there and, you know, check out his content, because he's very informative. He's been here for 10 or 11 years, and he's very wise. And he's a wise man. And I don't think you go far wrong by listening to his content. My content is a little bit different. My content is all kinds of things, you know. But at the end of the day, it's all it's all information, I suppose. It's maybe just experience of being here for the times that, for the length of times that, we have. It's information that could be useful, even just to one person. Even just to one person. At least you've passed on what you know. So you're giving people an insight of what it is to live here. And we all know that the law does not cater for us, but don't let that put you off. And I mean, don't let it put you off thinking, oh God, I'm going to go to the Philippines. I'm going to get myself into trouble. How many foreigners have been here for years and never getting into trouble? I'm one of them. I've not been into trouble here with the police or anything like that, The police are very, very accommodating, if anything. And a lot of you might think, well, yeah, they corrupt and bent. Maybe they are, but I've never had any trouble with the police whatsoever. And I intend to keep it that way. Checkpoints. Like a lot of you might think, oh God, checkpoint there, but they are there doing a job. And I like it when I see a checkpoint because it makes me feel safer, to be honest with you. When the police come round your house, don't think it's anything untoward where they are casing you out. They are coming round to your house when they check on you to make sure you're all right and this, that and the other. And, they might be checking to see if you overstayed your visa or something like that. But they are generally checking up on you because at the end of the day, it's their responsibility. So they tell me it's the police's their responsibility to make sure you are okay. So don't let that, and people who think they come around your house because they're casing you out. No, they're not. No, they're not, I feel totally, totally safe here. Until you're not. Until you're not, Oh God, why do I think, have I tempting fate? But no, I'm not. I love it here. And I do big up the Philippines. But at the same time, a lot of you think, I would never go there. And I accept that. I accept that. I'm not trying to talk people into coming to the Philippines, but I'm also not trying to talk people out of coming to the Philippines. So that being said, people, I've got a bit of work to do. Not here. And by the way, I've got to say this. Now, many of you say put mulch around the trees. Now, I know that, but I don't know if you can see. We get heavy rains here, and because we are on a bit of a bank, and it doesn't matter how elevated you put your trees, when the rains come, it washes everything out. It washes all of your mulch out. So I do it, and then I spend half a day putting it all back round again. Like this down here, I've put it back round here. Where we had really heavy rains yesterday. In fact, you can see here by the waves it's left. And I was pleased that we did have heavy rain. It did me a big favour actually. But yeah, the trees are coming on well. Everything's coming on well. Life is good. Life is good. Like I said, until it's not. But life is good, really. And I love my life here. And I'm sure many foreigners who are here love their life. And that's how we want to keep it. We don't want to be giving ourselves complications. But listen, people, please, if you're an expat and you think of coming here and you're money lending, or you want to do something like that, think again. Think again. Think long and hard. And I guarantee you, it probably won't end well. But that being said, people, I'm going to go. Got something to do. My little Jackie's coming. Baby's still got snot. Kaylin's got snot. But what can you do? Got to grin and bear it. They'll get better. They'll get over it. Catch you later, people. Over and out. Oh, England's out of the World Cup. 2-1 Argentina. We just fall short, don't we? We always fall short of that last hurdle. I knew we would. Anyway, oh no, look, he's my wife. He's Zachy boy. I'm going to see Zachy boy. Is he okay? Okay? No. Here he is. Oh. Here he is. He's my little boy. Oh. He's getting bigger now. He's getting bigger now. Two of my little boys. So people, listen, I'm over and out. Take good care. Whatever you're doing, try and do it well. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.